Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Train Like a Superstar. Today we're going to be covering the monster, Naoya Inoue. Inoue's got some fantastic strength and conditioning drills that he does, and I love seeing his sprint work. Now, not many boxers look to actually put in sprint work in terms of their training. Mostly use it as a high intensity conditioning tool, but you can see that Inoue really focuses on his sprint training. And why does acceleration transfer to boxing? Now, the reason why is because it increases the rate of force development, so you've got to produce a lot of force in a short amount of time. And we know from our research that this is a massive contributor to punching action. Inoue uses some resisted sprints, so this is where it's increasing the demand of the lower body to be able to try and run as fast as you can whilst being held back. Now, this is a popular tool, but how best to use it? There's a lot of research around resisted sprints, and they found that it mostly transitions and benefits into acceleration instead of maximum velocity. So this limits the amount of distance that you do when you're doing resisted sprints. So we look to go around anywhere between 5 and 15 meters. Okay, I'm briefly going to show you the setup for this. I can't really show it without a partner or an athlete to demonstrate it on, but you would look to get the band lower than waist level. The reason why is because we're getting that forward lean, and you want that trajectory to go through the hips and challenge that hip extension. So this is a little bit too high. But you want it around about your waist, so it's challenging that hip extension. You want a slight forward lean in acceleration. You don't want to be too upright. Also, you don't want to be hunched over, driving through. And then you want to make sure that you're pushing against that band and trying to increase your stride length, making sure that you're maintaining that technique. Straight posture, leaning forward, good arm action, good knee alignment, hip alignment, and driving through the action. Now, you can do this with a band, either around the waist or attached to the back in a harness, or you can do it on sled sprints. But the main thing that you need to consider is the amount of speed that you're actually taking away from that athlete. When we're looking to improve acceleration and sprint performance, we don't want to be harming the sprinting technique too much. There's research that suggests that you should only take around about 10% of the actual running speed. So to put it in perspective, if you're running over 10 meters and normally you'd hit 10 meters in 2 seconds, you're going to hit 10 meters in 2.2 seconds. So you're still moving very fast. So you don't want to be hoisting the athlete back because you're taking too much speed out of them, which will alter their technique and won't meet the demands of acceleration. So I do this drill as part of a warm-up or a speed phase, and you'd look to do around about anywhere between 3 to 5 repetitions and 3 to 5 sets on this. Again, you don't want it to be a conditioning tool, so make sure that your rest period is quite long. So you do anywhere between 30 and 60 seconds on the reps. You'd have around about 2-3 minutes rest, and then you'd go again. Now, the other way that you can use resisted sprints is for conditioning, because you're increasing that resistance during a sprinting action. Therefore, the pressure on the joints is less, but you're getting more intensity through the lower body. I really like how Inoue is doing this on the beach, because then it's taking that impact forces from the floor. It's really targeting kind of lower body activation and conditioning. I'd say that this drill would be really good for like a muscle buffering effect. So getting our acidosis, our blood lactate quite high, anywhere between 10 and 12 millimole, and being challenged to try and reproduce that force, even though you're getting pulled back with the band and you're having to push off through the sand. Now, we've used this during a recent conditioning session where we've used it as part of a circuit, and you can see here that I'm actually able to make more resistance on the band. This is primarily because we're limited on space in the gym, but we can get away with it. We're not looking to improve acceleration here. We're just providing external resistance whilst doing the sprinting action without having to cover a certain amount of distance or hit a certain speed. So if you're going to do this, you could do the 12 seconds on, 48 off protocol, where you hit like around about 10 to 12 millimole blood lactate on RPE, anywhere between 8 or 10 out of 10. and you'd repeat this between 15 and 25 times. So if you haven't got access to a treadmill, you wanted to do some high intensity work, but you're not really comfortable with doing some max out sprinting, you can use the resisted sprints, cover less distance, reduce the impact force, reduce the likelihood of injury, but still increase your performance. Now, if you've got any questions about any of the methods that I've mentioned, please leave them in the comment box below. And if you wanting us to cover your favourite fighter in the Train Like a Superstar series, or wanting to ask a certain question about training, leave them in the comment box, or you can send me a direct message as well. Okay guys, I'll see you on the next episode.